Hello folks, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. I sincerely hope everybody is doing well out there. Welcome to all brand new subscribers and welcome to everybody out there who is revisiting or visiting again with us today. So I thought today what we would do is something pretty much on topic. I thought we would check in with Mother Nature herself, Gaia. And we're going to get you some channeled messages today, straight from the horse's mouth, as it were, straight from the universe, straight from Mother Nature herself, Gaia, about what it is the coronavirus is doing for us or not doing for us, so we can alleviate some of the fears out there and get some perspective from somebody else's point of view, or channeling information to get us some more perspective outside of the media. I know that a lot of people out there are suffering with fear, and there's a lot of misinformation and just a lot of tenseness and even panic. So I think it's really up to us to sort of ground into our energy and really look for the truth and get you some real answers, so you can obviously take the necessary precautions in staying safe and healthy and happy and protecting others, but at the same time getting a better, much more of a bigger perspective, so we can sort of relax into the understanding that this is not all completely doom and gloom. So let's go ahead and get you some perspective, especially again around the fear and what it is that's going on in the world right now. So we have 3 piles as always, and the timestamps will be down below. As always, you can just go there and go straight to your pile. So the first one we have is turquoise, and then the second one is the clear quartz, and then we have our grounding agent here, of course, is the tiger eye. And again, this is a very specific, we are going to be channeling Gaia herself, Mother Nature, and we're going to get you some answers about what's going on in the world, and specifically maybe your role and what it is that you can do, some specific advice of what it is that you can do to alleviate some of that fear that's out there and sort of get back into your body, ground yourself into your energy, and just just feel a little bit better, a little bit more grounded about what it is that's going on right now. Okay, let's get right into the reading, and we're going to put these aside for now. And pile 1. All right, pile 1, this is you. If you chose turquoise, we're going to put turquoise right out there. So we're going to get you some channeled messages straight from Gaia, straight from Mother Nature herself, about what it is that's going on, some perspective, but your role specifically, what it is that you can do, some specific messages for you, how to handle this, where you are with this, and just, we're just going to get you some beautiful messages that will ground you into your body and alleviate some of that nervousness that's in and around the world right now. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Mother Mary and the unicorns are blessing you. Okay, hunger is the second one. This is the Moon Oracle. I do love this Oracle deck. Okay, King of Spring. Financial windfall. Your leadership skills are needed now. An unexpected supporter of your cause. Wonderful. I am patient, knowing that whatever is of the highest good is coming to me. This is a really beautiful card here. 8 of Swords. Okay, 2 of Cups. And then, as soon as I choose to see the light in the dark corners, I redirect my power toward what it is that I want, or what I want. Okay, so let's see here, pile 1. So there's definitely, there's a lot of feminine energy around you anyway. There's a lot of your guides that are coming in and clearing the way for what it is that you want in this lifetime too. So I feel as though you definitely do have a lot of guides around you. But I feel as though what it is that I'm getting is that, and this is certainly for everybody, but a perspective shift I feel as though for you, pile one, the way in which you will be working within your own social group, or specifically with your environment, or specifically with loved ones, will be different because of what it is that's going on right now. I feel as though there's a beauty in you that, and it's not that you ever took anything for granted. I feel as though you have a very firm platform of gratitude, but I do feel as though the way in which you are working with gratitude is shifting and changing. And of course, that is a wonderful thing. Now, unfortunately, sometimes it's the darkness that shows us how much we want to resonate with the light, right? So it's not that you couldn't have done this if all of, the coronavirus and stuff wasn't going on. But I do feel as though at the same time, there is a shift now for you to protect the understanding, the memories. There's something about like holding everybody close, which I feel as though everybody's doing, but you're doing this in a very sort of specific way. You're taking it to the next level. I feel as though there is a click or a shift that's worked within you, and in some ways, it's in many ways actually, it's really, really beautiful. I feel as though for some of you, and again, this is a general reading, and that's all we can do right now for this general reading. I'm trying to make this as general as possible to include everybody, but I feel as though there are things that you did put off, pile one, which is no longer something that you are feeling like you want to do. So for those of you who do have the hunger of the leadership of stepping up, I do feel as though creatively, certainly writers, getting out there with the courses that you wanted to offer people, with the service that you wanted to offer people, the support that you wanted to offer people, which I feel as though you did in many ways, but not in the way that you really wanted, not pushing it far enough. I feel as though this is a time where you realize that it's the time to absolutely move forward with all of this stuff. So something that you're going to get out of this very specifically, pile one, is that it's time to step up. I feel as though for many of you, you've been activated quite recently, I would say within the last 6 months, of really understanding your role in this lifetime. But there hasn't been a firm integration of how to do that yet. And I feel as though this is almost sort of like a hurricane, the energy that's in and around you. And for a lot of you, you're intense empaths. So you're riding this sort of wave of this roller coaster of events where you're very grounded. You understand that you're taking the necessary precautions. You know what you're doing, but you're picking up on everybody else's energy, and at the same time you're trying to pull back from the understanding of feeling responsible for everybody, but still standing in your own light. So I feel as though your specific message, what you are going to gain from this, is really understanding how to ground yourself, how to, and again, not protecting, how to ground your energy in this lifetime and shine without having to necessarily protect, but also understanding boundaries between where you begin and somebody else ends. This is kind of more of an extreme situation because it's more globally. It's where everybody else ends, right? And you begin. But this is a new version of you and how you step up in your lifetime, how you step up in this lifetime and deliver the goods, deliver who it is that you are, and still be able to keep your grounding and your beauty, and not be able to be swept away by a lot of this emotion, which a couple of years ago probably would have happened to you. So there's a lot of different aspects coming in. The way in which you work with your guides, the way in which you rely on your guides, I should say, is far more dramatic and more specific than you ever have before. There is a new process of surrendering that is absolutely beautiful, where you do understand the concept fully of being human and yet being a spiritual being in a human form. And that's something that's come up again. You've been activated into this understanding of self. This hunger, again, this hunger really comes from the fact that you were incarnated in this lifetime, in this generation, to be a light, to be a beacon, and you've done that consistently through your life, but in a very specific way, in a way that didn't overwhelm you, if we can say. Now you're being asked to sort of move into this sort of in a global way, but again, doing this on your own terms. And I don't want to say this to overwhelm you. This is something that you are apt to do. And this hunger that you've been carrying with you, has almost been waiting for this sort of seedling to open and crack open, and you're ready for this. And again, you're ready to step out there and sort of know the truth within yourself. You've really delivered the truth unto yourself. You really do understand the difference between sort of the universal truth that is real truth and what it is that we're told. And you're really taking this energy in a really beautiful way and integrating it in a way that sort of that can lift the fear and move you into a sense of self. Now, I can tell you that whatever it is that you decide to do, be it, a YouTube channel, whatever it is that you've been putting on the sidelines and saying, I'm thinking about doing that, but I'm not so sure. This is definitely the time, and you're ready to do this. It's really about sort of like walking into and just embracing where you are and embracing every aspect of self and just sort of letting that shine, but letting that shine on a platform for others. It really is time for you to do that. There's no other work for you to do. There's no other shifts for you to sort of manifest in your life for you to be able to do that. Now, in the past, you really did, if we can be quite blunt here, real talk, you really did have a problem with wanting to save people and sort of overdoing it a little bit, and even to the point where you didn't give people space to be who they are so they can go ahead and figure out their own life, right? You try to do the work for them. And this is something that you no longer do, but there's still a remnant, there's still just a tiny bit of yourself that's a little bit worried that if you step into this power, then you're going to take on too much and be overwhelmed by the emotion of it. That's really not what's happening here with the Eight of Swords. You really do identify, you really can take time for yourself and understand again that very, very specific boundary of where everybody else starts and you begin. It's all about elevating and keeping your vibration really high and your immune system very, very strong. And the way in which you will do that is to take what you know and be able to sort of not literally take it out of the house insofar as, like I said, we have online communities, YouTube, whatever it is that you want to do, writing this stuff down, but getting it out there. There is a very specific wisdom that you hold that the world needs right now. And it's up to you to put that down and put it out there. And this will actually ground you into your sense of power. And for those of you who feel like you're floundering a little bit with this energy, I don't know what to do, I'm running here and there, not literally, but in my head. And I don't know how to ground. I'm losing myself to grounding. This sense of self will bring you back with this purpose. It will bring you back into a new sense of self, knowing that you can be there for people, and again on your own terms, without feeling as if you're overwhelmed or taking on too much. Also for you, because you are extreme empaths, it's very good, of course, to go out there to a certain extent. When I say go out there, I mean online, but to really deal with the facts, certainly, but when you have a certain amount of facts, to back off, to really not allow all of the information to overwhelm you, and to allow the energy of it to overwhelm you, because you do have this sense of, all of a sudden you're very overwhelmed, and then it's almost like you're out to sea a little bit, and this overwhelming nature does disconnect you from your purpose, and does disconnect you from the sort of the intense connections that you have with your loved ones, because will I be able to protect them? Again, you go back into that I need to save, I need to protect, and then it sort of ungrounds you. So if you come back into your sense of self, know where all of this energy begins, and you start, that you're back on your track, you're back on your path, you can present yourself to others with the information and the love and light that you have without feeling overwhelmed. That will instantly bring you back into your body and able to connect with the love of your loved ones, and know that It will also connect you to Mother Gaia, who is definitely working with you in this specific. The amount of feminine energy and light around you is very, very strong, and they're actually shining on you to sort of step up in, you know, not just in this lifetime, but right now. And again, we're not saying this for you to get overwhelmed. It's just a matter of this is your time, and you're being encouraged to do that. That hunger is there. And again, and should you do this on your own terms, it's a way for you to connect in a brand new way that grounds you into what it is that you're supposed to do. And you'll feel as if you are protecting your loved ones in a brand new way. And then you won't feel helpless. Again, whatever it is that you've been doing, and there's been a lot of activations and downloads for you recently, Pile 1, but I would say that you've really worked through your shadow self. You've been doing a lot of healing very, very closely and a little bit at a time. And in this way, you are absolutely ready. This is not overwhelming for you. You may feel as though it is, but it shouldn't be overwhelming for you, because this is definitely, without a doubt, your time. You've been leading up to this. This is a time where you can shine light into that darkness and really be there for people, and understand that there is beauty that comes out of what we're going through, a sense of profound connection that we've never had before, a sense of purpose that we've never had to this degree before, a sense of beauty, of really understanding how precious life is that we've never understood before. This is something that you can relate in who you are and put it out there and ease people's fears. There's nothing that you need to learn. There's no more courses. There's no more anything that you need to do. Your leaderships, really, your skills are needed now. And again, do this on your own terms, but do it a little bit wider than you discovered or thought that you could do. If you feel a little bit nervous or you feel a little bit out of your depth, that's okay. Just breathe in to the energy. You are channeling all of your guides. So the responsibility there for you is just to bring the message. It will get to the right people, and the right people will integrate it, and you will be doing what you're supposed to be doing. Again, the other thing that you do sometimes is that you try to figure out the outcome before it happens. That's pretty normal with a very sort of pragmatic personality, and you do have that essence to you. But I urge you not to do that. The one thing... there's many light moments in and around this virus and what it is that we're going through right now. But the one thing that we're being asked to do is to stay in the present moment and to really release everything in that one moment, and not to think ahead, and not to try to. There are many different timelines that are going on right now. It's almost impossible at this point in time to try and figure out, or to be 2 steps ahead or 3 steps ahead of this, or what it is that's going to happen. So don't try and do this. If there's one thing that can happen here, is to stay in the moment and to stay grounded and connected in that one moment. And that's how you keep your immune system strong, and that's how you keep your vibration high, and that's how you take that vibration and you integrate that vibration right out there and elevate all of that fear that's going on. So, Pile 1, this is for you, and this is a beautiful time for you. You will be okay. Don't feel as though you're going to be overwhelmed. Everything is going to be absolutely fine for you. Take the opportunity to step up and be who you are, and that will absolutely integrate and connect you in a brand new way that will feel as though you're not only doing your part, but doing your part on your own terms. So do let me know if this resonated. I love hearing from you. Thumbs up, subscribing if you feel as though this is the energy that you need around you right now. If not, that's great too. Love and sincere light, Pile 1. We are absolutely rooting for you till the end of days, till the end of, the cycle, whatever it is that we're going through, and it will end, and a new dawn will come, I promise. So until we meet again, take care, Pile 1. Bye-bye. Okay, pile two, this is you. If you chose the clear quartz, this is specific channeled energy from Mother Nature, from Gaia, about what it is that you can do specifically in what we're going on about, a little bit of the fear here with the coronavirus, but what it is that you can do to integrate your energy and move forward and remain sane, if we can say, in this, a little bit of perspective here, so we can give you some advice and make you feel a little bit better. So let's see what we have here. Queen of the Unicorns, you are blessed with love, compassion, and wisdom. Yes, you do. I feel as though the gratitude is very, very strong with you. You've definitely made that as a platform for you. And that's one of the many things that's happening here globally, I think, with the gratitude and sense of compassion and connection in a brand new way. Two of Winter, indecision is holding you back. Make the choice that's best for you rather than trying to please others. Feeling trapped between the intellectual and the emotional. Okay, that's perfectly reasonable at this time. Believing in spiritual guidance gives me certainty and the freedom to keep dreaming even when I can't yet see the result. Absolutely. That's a beautiful card if you can see that. The Nine of Swords. The Queen of Staves. That's great. When I truly surrender my desires to the universe, a mighty force of faith can set in. So yeah, so let's just get down to the bare basics here, pile two. There is a little bit of fear around you. You do definitely have the gratitude and the grounding of the gratitude that's coming in, and being grateful for everything that's happened to you, and being grateful for where you are right now within what's happening in this world. You definitely do feel blessed. And you're taking that with you, but I feel as though there is a sense of fear, and that panic does seep in a little bit. It's mainly in and around what you can't control. So there's just a little reminder here. It's about alignment and not control. When you're trying to make things better, that is a sense of control. Now, if you feel out of control, a lot of people feel out of control right now. That's why they're ungrounded and they're letting the fear in. When that starts happening, remain in your power, ground back in. Remember, this is not about control. If anything, whatever is happening right now around the globe is teaching us that we have no control. It's about surrendering. Yes, there's certain things that we can do, and we are doing them for safety measures, but it's really about surrendering, having faith, keeping your immune system up, and staying in that high degree of your sense of self here, keeping your energy and all of you above water, like literally your emotions above water, your frequency high. Now, when you feel as though you're drowning a little bit, when you feel as though, the sort of the gates are open and the fear floods in, that's just a little bit of the control trying to come in. And we want you back into the alignment and the surrendering. You are protected. Get grounded and get right back into your own power. You do have a grand sense of power that you've come in with. Your sense of the divine feminine, who you work with and who you are in this lifetime, is absolutely massive. So ground back into that energy. The other word that we're using here for you is expansiveness. So when you feel that fear come in, I want you to ground and really breathe into that energy. And for all of that fear that's coming in, like floodgates, right? I want you to take that fear and literally just alchemize it. Go back into love and literally push that love right back in to the fear, so it overcomes the fear. Now you can do that. You can do that with your mind. You can do that like literally pushing it out and see the fear literally turning into love. That's immediately going to set that right for you, because what you're doing is you're working with your connections with your guides and with Mother Nature and with Gaia too. You're going to be fine. You're going to be protected. I feel as though even though there is a sense of panic and there's a sense of sort of being closed in a little bit, pile two, it's mainly about combating that energy with the fear and alchemizing it again into love, and understanding that you do have a voice here. You do have a larger perspective, but not trying to see things to the end. This came up in pile 1, and it's perfectly reasonable. Sometimes, we're trying to see, trying to figure out how this is going to end or what we're trying to do. The one thing that, that we can say about this virus or whatever's going on in, right now in the world globally, is that it's really about staying in the moment. It's really about, there's so many different timelines out there. Trying to figure out how this ends up is almost impossible. So trying to put your energy there is just going to be very confusing and also overwhelming. And then those floodgates just sort of get open, and then you're going to feel very overwhelmed. Staying in the moment and understanding that there are shifting timelines right now, and none of this needs to be controlled. Again, if you just surrender into the knowing of who you are. I want to remind you too, pile 2, you did come down onto this earth in order to be here. You're definitely light workers, you're empaths. So, this could be a tough time for you because you're really pulling in a lot of that negativity, a lot of that panic. But again, do watch what you watch on the TV or media or even Facebook or whatever. If you feel as though you need to, obviously take the right precautions, but if you feel as though if you need time away from that, that's absolutely fine. Right now, we have a lot of different information that's coming out. Some of it's real, some of it isn't. And that's creating some of this fear. Now, the essence of control, of course, is creating some of this fear too, because we don't really know any of that outcome. Staying in the present moment. Surrendering into being in alignment and not trying to control is definitely going to help here. Believing in the spiritual guidance, this is something that you're apt to do. This is something I feel for you. You're natural counselors, whether you actually physically do this in some way, spiritual counselors, physical counselors, you're actually counselors in real life. Okay. So even if you don't do it for a living, or even if you don't see yourself as that, most people in your friend group will come to you. You're great listeners. This is great. Please make sure, pile 2, that you also get the help. Sometimes you create a lot of these things in your mind, and all they need to do is come out a little bit and talk to somebody. And once you do, you're, oh, that's kind of ridiculous. But because they're in your mind and they go round and round and round, for you, it's very important, pile 2, to ground into your energy, release the fear by just sort of talking. Now, not constantly going over and over and over about what it is. Because then you're just going over and over and over the fear. But if there is something that's bothering you, that's tangible, please seek out some advice. Please just be there for others. This is a time for connection. You've always been there to connect other people. This is a time for you to seek that connection too. You're often the one that seeks connection the least, because you're usually there to be for other people. So I urge you to seek the connection whenever you feel a little overwhelmed. This is something that you can do, and it will alleviate some of the pressure that you're feeling pretty much immediately, and set things back into your grounding. Just getting it out there will definitely do that. And you'll almost sit back and go, I can't believe I was thinking that, and kind of laugh at it. It will align you right back into Gaia. It will align you back into the surrendering mode rather than the control mode. And it will obviously, on a very practical level, make you feel as though you're a little saner and you're not blowing up, right? Also, reminding yourself that you are connected, reminding yourself that for some of you, for the Nine of Swords, some of you do feel when you're helping others, it does give you a sense of connection, which is really, really beautiful. But for some of you who are feeling a little disconnected, ground back into your energy and ground into the beauty of what's happening in. There's a sense of compassion and beauty here that's really coming in globally. That's absolutely gorgeous. This is the beginning of the new path of the new world. This is what we needed in order to move forward into brand new energy. Now, it feels kind of crappy because we have to go through the darkness in order to implement this beauty, but you're part of this process, and you know very well how that connection works. You know very well the difference between alignment and control. So when you go back into the control, remember the alignment is about surrendering. You have a very, very, very strong sense of faith for yourself and for others. bring yourself back into it. And again, the amount of energy, especially with Gaia, with Mother Nature, with the feminine aspect of self, is really, really high here. So when you feel as though you're sort of floundering a little bit and those floodgates are open, just close those floodgates a little bit and ask for help from Mother Nature herself. There is a sense of perspective that's coming in for you that would not have been gained should we have not gone through this. And you are going to be really walking into a sense of power from the platform of gratitude that you've never been able to do before. This is really a sense of, this is a really moment of a huge amount of powerfulness for you on brand new heights that you can achieve, again, that you would not have been able to achieve should we not be in this. You're being urged to step outside of your comfort zone just a little bit, but you're also being very much led. And for those of you who are already resonating with this pile too, with this reading, you know what it is to do. You've been urged to move forward in a very specific way. I don't know about giving messages, what it is that you're supposed to do, but you didn't know if you had the strength enough to be able to do that, or whether it is your time to do that. You're being told that this is absolutely your time. And this is the way for those of you who are feeling as though they're not doing enough. This is a way for you to step into your power and feel as though you are doing more than you should be doing. So for those of you who are feeling as though, it's not like an opportunity is passing, but there is something that, you want to be aligned with, you want to be connected with, you want to actually help in this way. Whatever it is that you're being urged to do to move forward, please move forward and do this. I absolutely promise you, without a shadow of a doubt, you are being urged, you are being connected, you are being guided to do this. And once you take that baby step right into what it is that you are supposed to be doing, maybe that's public speaking, and again, this is obviously online or something, you will know what that is, writing that down, getting out there. You are being guided to do this. This is the time for you to do that. It will connect you to your peers, to your community in a brand new way, which will really pull you into the sense of surrendering in a brand new way and alignment. Keep your immune strong and definitely keep your frequency up in a really, really beautiful way. You have that gratitude. You have that sense of faith. It's just a matter of keeping that faith and sort of expanding. We had that word in pile 1 too, expanding that faith so it grounds others. And there's something very healing about your voice. There's something very healing about your message. So there's something that you can practically do to get out there. And again, just baby steps. Once you take that first step, it will remain entirely obvious to you what you need to do. And then as you move forward down that specific path, you will realize that you were born for this very, very moment. And it will connect you again and integrate you back into the world in a brand new way, in a way that you wouldn't have been able to integrate at this level if all of this wasn't going on globally. So trust, faith, move forward. You should already know in which direction. And if you don't, just take the time and ground into the surrendering, using the gratitude for that firm platform to move forward in this brand new way and be that light and beacon of hope. You can absolutely do this. You've been doing this your entire life. This is just a brand new level. You're being asked to do it. So I hope this resonated, pile 2. Feel free to give me a like, comment, subscribe if you feel as though this is the energy that you need in your life right now. Be very happy to have you. If not, that is wonderful too. Sending so much love and healing to you so much, pile 2. Until we meet again, take care and bye-bye. Okay, pile 3, if you chose this beautiful tiger's eye here, this is your message directly from Gaia to give you some perspective, some hope, what it is that you can physically do, mentally, not just to prepare, but to thrive, and to make use of all of this energy that's going on here to give you some perspective with this global stuff that's going on right now. Future, let go of the past and move forward. We've got the extremes card here, but that's perfectly reasonable. 3 of Autumn, follow your passion when it comes to your career. Be the best at what you do, being compensated for your creative talents. I accept that good things come easily. I am a super attractor. Yes, getting back to basics. Six of Swords reversed. Wonderful. Princess of Staves reversed. This is a beautiful card. When I am in a state of appreciation, I'm in vibrational alignment with my true love nature. So the first thing that I do want to say is that your strength is absolutely wonderful, and it's doing its best, pile 3. I feel as though you're there for everybody. You're pulling everybody together. You have this beautiful sense of self. So well done. I feel as though you do feel as though the worst is sort of behind you. And you do feel as though you definitely can be around other people. Like you definitely can be there for other people. But you are an extreme empath, and you're definitely picking up on a lot of these energies. So we just want you to ground into your energy, ground into your sense of power, ground into nature. For you, it would be really important if you have a backyard, wherever you can go. It doesn't have to be around a lot of people, obviously. We're supposed to be somewhat quarantined, but really to get back into the sense of nature. The birds sing every morning, get back into that sense of normalcy. For you, that's going to bring in a sense of grounding. Nature is perfect and wonderful for everybody, but I feel as though that's specifically the message that I'm getting for you right now. What it does is it brings you into it pulls you back out of the sense of emergency, and it pulls you see the other cards. I feel as though with pile 1 and pile 2, there was an expression of staying in the moment. There's several different timelines going on, so trying to predict the future is kind of difficult, and people are trying to do that with a sense of control, and that brings in some fear. I feel as though with you, you ground so fiercely into the moment that you let everything in, almost like floodgates, and that can actually be overwhelming for you. So I feel as though the sense of nature and getting out there, what that will do for you, it will remind you that there is a sense of future. You're almost the opposite of pile 1 and pile 2. There is a sense of future. There is a sense of opening up. There is a sense of compassion. There's still a world going on out there, and you're still very much a part of it. It will pull you back into the sense of just the little things far more. I'm not saying that you ever took them so much for granted, but you're seeing them in a brand new light. There is definitely a new sense of self that's dawning within you, pile 3. You are earning, I don't know if that's the right word, but you're moving into a new sense of person, a new sense of power, and you're gaining your power in a very different way than you ever did before. You're connecting with sense of nature in a very different way than you did before. Now, the way in which you're connecting into nature, of course, has a lot of fear right now, and that's totally understandable. The fear comes from the uncertainty, and you're taking on the uncertainty a little bit more than you need to do. So, but your soul is expanding and actually working with the universe, working with specifically with nature in a little bit of a different way. Look, we've even got the birdies here. The one thing that I can say for you, it would be good to work with moonlight. It would be good if you have a backyard to go out and work with the moon, with the sense of the moon. Normally the moon has sort of like, lunacy, sense of magic, but there's a sense of darkness. Do we know exactly what's going on? I think for you, you do. And this is actually energy for you to connect very firmly with. You may have been sort of inducted into working with the moon very recently, but this is energy that will cleanse you in a brand new way. Even taking a shower or a bath, any kind of water energy, moonlight energy, is going to work with you in a sense of nature a little bit differently than it did before, but it's going to cleanse you in a sort of brand new way, and it will connect you with your sense of nature and grounding you into your own sense of power through your nature, but through the moonlight, because when you try and connect with nature during the day, you're picking up on all of that sort of like nervousness, and again, I think you're working with it quite well, and you do understand where somebody else begins and you end, but it is sort of compromising your power a little bit, and it's moving you into the sense of extremes. Like, I have to pull myself back from this extreme, noticing the extreme. None of it's quite flowing as easily as it could if you work with the moonlight and just kind of connect with your nature, connect with the sense of nature at night for now. Now you'll be able to go back and integrate your sense of power back during the day, because sun energy is really powerful for you. And some of you may even be Leos or have a lot of sort of Leo energy, or just love the sun normally. But for those of you who always loved the moon, this is great. And for those of you who have been working with the moon, or, you know, I've always respected the moon, but have not worked with moonlight as closely as you could, moonstones are very good for you right now too. This is a way of coming in to your energy, and the way in which you cleanse the sort of the fear and the panic and come back to self again is very much at night. Just being very sort of clear about that, and going out and really just in a basic way, give your specific worries to the moon. When you wake up the next day after you sort of cleanse yourself from the moonlight, you'll definitely feel completely different. So here we have let go of the past and move forward. I feel as though for some of you, and this is a general reading, I feel as though a lot of the past stuff is coming up too, which is another way for you to be cognizant of the fact that you are working with your power in a brand new way. So it's okay to leave your past behind. The way in which you may have dealt with things before is brand new, and that is perfectly reasonable. At this point, perfectly reasonable. Please do not worry about that. The way in which you are expressing your power is completely different. Whatever worked for you before is no longer working, and that is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. You're being asked to just move into your sense of self and passion, and literally without whim, without any qualms, just move into the next point of passion, what it is that you're supposed to do. Normally, you're the sort of person, pile 3, I would say, that, you know, you're very practical. You do have these sort of whimsical ideas, but you wouldn't necessarily work with them because you've got a very practical sense of self. What this global epidemic, what this is actually doing for you in a brand new way, it's taking that off the table, because, you know, the practical isn't really working. You know, our day-to-day lives have been disrupted. Everything is different. We're actually being sort of asked to think outside of the box in many ways, especially in how we, you know, career-wise and what we're doing. So this is a unique time for you to step into that power and not question that sort of out-of-the-box kind of idea and understanding of self, to actually embrace that way of moving forward. Something that you may not have done before, maybe you wouldn't have had the courage to do, or for you it wouldn't have been the right time. This is the wrong timing. This is the right timing though, right? There's nothing else to do. So you're being asked to really listen to your passion. Archangel Raphael is really working with you in a massive way too. We are channeling Gaia, but, you know, any guides that come in and give you messages, I'm not going to say no, right? So any of those little ideas that you may have pushed aside before, oh, that's fun, but not for me. Again, that may have seemed a little bit out of the box before. Any of those messages or ideas are coming directly from Archangel Raphael. So get in there, think about what they are, and figure out how you can integrate those into your working day and working life, and be there for other people in a brand new way. Again, you're reworking your power, and this situation globally allows you to work with your power in a different way. Now, with the nighttime and working with the moonlight, you may even come up with a course about working with moonlight. Whatever it is that you might have thought, oh, you know, that's extravagant. I don't know if I would be able to do that before. This is the time to work within those ideas. Again, those ideas are coming directly from the universe, directly from Archangel Raphael. Now, sometimes he does give us these ideas and we go, okay, great. But I mean, he doesn't give us these ideas if they're completely outside of ourselves, and if we're not able to implement them. You're able to implement them, and you're being told this is absolutely the right time to do them. So, you know, in a state of appreciation, absolutely keep your immune system high. Do what you need to do, of course. Take the necessary precautions. All of these baby steps to move forward, and to do this new course, or to work outside a little bit of the box. but just implement those ideas, are definitely coming from a state of appreciation and a sense of alignment, really simplifying your life too. And again, moving out of those extremes, which really can be solidified and really can be balanced in a way if you move with the sense of moonlight and just and work with the moonlight in a way that maybe again you haven't before. And if you're already working with the moonlight, well done. That's going to be your sense of pulling back the extremes here, grounding back into your energy and again in your power in a brand new way. Again, we want to remind you that you have a very earthy grounding force. If you don't feel very grounded right now, that's just because your new aspect of self is just integrating, because you're working with your power in a brand new way. Now, it may seem like it's a little bit overwhelming. You know, you're working in a brand new way. Your past doesn't really help you anymore, and everything, you know, everything's happening in the world right now. Is this a good time to sort of like regroup and rework in the world in a brand new way? Yes, it is, because you were working up until this point. You were always supposed to be at this point. You have the strength to do it. And this again with the moonlight and working with the moon's energy and the cleansing energy is going to move you into this brand new way much quicker. And it's a way of freedom. The way in which that you're working with your personal power now is definitely going to pull you in to a new sense of freedom, which then you will be able to pass on to the rest of the world, right? Your new sense of freedom and how you get out there is about pulling in communities, is about pulling in creativity. It is about teaching and being there for people, and pulling in their creativity and learning who you are through creativity. So either through writing, autobiographies, or painting, or what it is that you do. It's definitely something that you've been doing before. If you've been doing it before, you can integrate that in a new way. But you can actually approach this brand new with this new energy and teach people how to figure out who they are, how to ground into their own specific energy and specifically their own specific purpose through creative means. Remind yourself, I'm going to remind you now, if those little, ideas come in from Archangel Raphael and they seem a little bit crazy, sit there for a second and see how you can implement them. This is the time to move forward in many different ways, doing things that you never thought you would be able to do. This is actually the time for this. This is not the time to not do this. There is no waiting for you. There's absolutely no waiting to bring the truth back. And again, to bring a sense of power and personal truth back to people is what you're here to do, and to shine a light on who they actually are through creative means. And you'll be able to do that. And by doing that, you'll be able to create a sense of purpose for your life that contains, or doesn't contain you. What it does is integrate you back into the world in a brand new way. But you are being contained right now, and that's how you can figure out how to do this globally. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to get out there physically in the world to be able to do it. Your containment period here can be used to figure out how to work with people globally, but to shine the light on who they are and to show them their divinity. And this is something that once you connect to that purpose in a brand new way and implement that into your life, you're going to bring that power back into you. You're going to ground into that sense of purpose. And then you'll be connected to your community and a sense of compassion that you've never really had to that height and degree before. I feel as though there's been a lot of stops and starts in your life, and there's been, essences of certain parts of your life that have been quite easygoing. When you look back, you do have a sense of appreciation and a sense of gratitude. There's certain things that you've just called to you, and they've come into your life quite easily. You're actually a supreme manifester. But sometimes when you try to do this, you almost block yourself and you send it sort of far off into the universe, and you feel as though when you know, when life is on the line and there's something you really want, you feel as though sometimes you kind of get in your own way. This is a way to connect with your power and to get back onto, or to integrate into your path and your purpose in this life in a brand new way, and to ease into that sense of self, to ease into that sense of surrender without needing to control, where everything comes to you so much easily, so much easier than it ever did before. For you, the notion of like work smarter, not harder, was like, you love the idea of it, but were you able to do it? And for you, the understanding of doing less work and gaining more in your life would have been like, what? But this is where you're at. You're able to do this now. And you're able to do this with a greatest sense of ease once you sort of cleanse into the moonlight, work with your new sense of power and purpose in a brand new way. Listen to Archangel, well, all of them are here, especially Archangel Gabriel just came in too, but Archangel Raphael, with these new sense of purpose and getting out there and shining your light and teaching others how to shine their light too, kind of outside of the box in ways that, you know, maybe you wouldn't have taken that chance before. And working with this, pulling back the balance without trying to control the extremes, right? Not asking you to do that at all. Just sort of letting go and surrendering and pulling yourself back into this brand new way of exhibiting your newfound power. So this is for you, pile 3. This is a new way for you to work in the world, a new way for you to work with your power, a new way that's of the greatest of ease, should come a lot easier for you than it did before, which means all of the energy around you, once you align yourself, again, with the moonlight or whatever it is that you're doing, to sort of release the need for these extremes and come back into the sense of ease, and then projecting that ease to others so you can help others in this lifetime too. This is definitely your time, and you're well able for this, pile 3. I'm really, really proud of the work that you've done to get to this point. Definitely use this time to think outside of the box. This is the time to think outside of the box and get out there and allow yourself, you know, these indulgent moments of, or if you think they're indulgent, of, oh, I wouldn't have done this before. This is the time to do it. Again, no reason to get overwhelmed. Baby steps. You're being heavily guided. So once you take that first step, you'll move into the next step and the next step, and then it'll connect you in a brand new way, and then you'll be able to help the world and help your community in a brand new way and working from a brand new sense of self, which is absolutely incredible. So do let me know if this resonated, pile 3. Always love hearing from you in the comments. Subscribe, thumbs up. If you feel as though this is energy that you would love in your life right now, I'm always here for you. Sending profound love, light, healing, energy, moonlight to you, pile 3. Until we meet again, you take care now. Bye-bye.